Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Oates, and I'm talking to eminent Australian herbalist, Dr. Sue Evans, and one of my favourite people in the whole world. And today we're talking about Salix alba. Sue, what can you tell us about this lovely barked plant?
Okay, well, you see, one of the things about the fact that herbs have been used in all cultures at all times is that herbalists in different historical periods or in different cultures talk about herbs in different ways. And I think it can be incredibly rich to look back and look at particularly in our own tradition, and look at the different ways herbs have been understood. Certainly before the scientific revolution, so until probably the 17th century, most educated people would have an education in astrology. And one of the ways that herbalists understood plants was relating plants to signs and planets. Now, when we try and understand what they were meaning by this these days, it does get a bit confusing, because it seems that there were lots of different ways of understanding what these planetary associations and planetary rulerships mean. However, when we're talking about Salix alba, Culpeper, who was writing in the 17th century, talks about it as being a herb of the moon in Cancer. And Dylan Warren Davis, who's a contemporary Welsh herbalist and astrologer, suggests that the planet represented whether the herb was warming or cooling, so whether it was stimulating, increasing activity or decreasing activity. So the moon, Venus and Saturn, or all those plants associated with those planets were seen as being cooling, whereas plants associated with the sun, Mars and Jupiter were seen as being warming. Okay, so this is a cooling plant. There were only 7 planets understood at that time. Mercury could have been either warming or cooling. So that's the 7. So this was a cooling plant, which we understand because it's antipyretic, used to bring down fevers, that sort of thing. Also, has got anti-inflammatory actions. Culpeper also said that it was associated with the sign of Cancer. And according to Warren Davies, the sign represented where the plant would grow. So Cancer is associated with rivers and streams. So this could have been seen, these astrological rulerships and significations could have been seen as a kind of shorthand to understand. So with those 2 words, you understood that this was a plant that decreased activity, and you knew where to find it. So that's one of the ways that you can look at astrological significations. It's not the only way, and there are other herbalists who are into herbalists and astrologers who are into this thing, who actually look at this in different ways, both historically and today. But that's one that works particularly well for Salix.
Thanks, Sue. That's so interesting. Thank you for sharing your insights with us.
Okay, good.